Greetings! In this video, we are about to show you how to apply to CEU's degree programs, highlighting a few important things to pay attention to as well as some issues that may come up while applying. First, make sure to review our program offerings. You can find all our degree programs under the study heading on our website. For example, if you want to apply for one or more master's programs, click on Master's Programs and find the one or ones you are interested in. You can apply for up to 5 degree programs in each admission cycle. The programs are listed in alphabetical order. If you click on the program name, you'll get to a page with a short description of the program and the entry requirements, as well as a link to the departmental website. To find more information on the program or the admission requirements specific to it, visit the departmental site.
Once you have made up your mind to apply, click on How to Apply. First, make sure you are eligible and the deadline is still open for the program you wish to apply for. Please note this will depend on your citizenship as well as your need for financial aid. If, for example, it takes 9 to 12 months to obtain an Austrian residence permit and Visa D in your country, you may have an early deadline to apply by, which is typically in October of the year preceding the year you wish to start your studies in. Likewise, if the above does not apply to you, but you want to be considered for CEU financial aid, you will need to submit your application for the February deadline. If you miss that deadline, you will only be able to apply for a self-financing place in any program. Self-financing candidates are welcome to apply throughout the whole admission cycle as long as their visa entry requirements allow them to do so. They should expect a decision according to the next applicable admissions timeline. Please note that for doctoral programs, there is only one deadline, which is normally in February. If the deadline is open, click on the application requirements and check each item on the list so you are fully clear on what to attach to your application. These include a list of the subjects you studied and the grades or marks you received while completing your high school, bachelor's, or master's studies. This is commonly known as a transcript and must be provided by the institution where you studied or are studying at the time of application. In addition, we need you to attach a copy of your diploma or degree certificate if you have already graduated, or a certificate of enrollment if you are still completing your studies. Please note that if you are accepted and decide to enroll at CEU, an official copy of your transcript and of your diploma will need to be shared electronically by your institution with the admissions office. The copies you have sent with your application are good for application purposes, but are not adequate for enrollment purposes.
We also need you to provide proof of your English knowledge in the form of one of the English tests listed on the website. If you are an undergraduate applicant, you will be exempt from this requirement if you have completed at least 2 years of high school studies in English. If you are applying to a graduate program, the same applies if you have completed a full bachelor's or master's program entirely in English in any country. Please check the conditions on the website. If you do not meet the exemption conditions, you will have to attach an acceptable English certificate to your application before you submit it. Test scores received after the application deadline may or may not be considered. Also, please note that if your application contains an English test score that is below our minimum requirement, your application will be rejected even if you would otherwise qualify for an exemption based on your background. You may wish to add miscellaneous additional materials to your application as other supporting documents. These may include standard test score reports such as SAT or ACT for undergraduate programs and GRE or GMAT for graduate programs. You are also welcome to attach other materials such as open references or certificates of additional degree or non-degree programs to your application as you deem appropriate. All such materials will have to be merged into one file that should not exceed 2 megabytes. A CV or resume is also a mandatory part of an application.
In addition to your educational history, please be sure to list any extracurricular activities as well as voluntary and paid work experience. There is no mandatory format prescribed for the CV or resume, but it should preferably be in reverse chronological order and arranged in bullet points. The next item is a piece of academic writing, which may well be considered the most important part of an application. It can be a statement of purpose, a research proposal, an essay on a given topic, or any combination of these depending on the program you are applying for. Click on it to find a link to the program website with the exact details. Please take particular care to follow the guidelines precisely as they are written on the program webpage. There is a reason why a department wants you to say, squeeze your statement of purpose into 100 words. In some cases, the requirements may be somewhat vague. The length of the assignment is 1 to 2 pages with no font size and spacing specified. In such a case, use your best judgment when completing the task. If you still have any questions or need clarifications, contact the department in question. You are also required to have, depending on your program, 1, 2, or 3 references or letters of recommendation attached to each application you submit. Recommendations must be written and sent in directly by your referees, that is, people who have known you through teaching you at high school or university or supervising your work in a job. Each reference is submitted via a system-generated link that is sent by our online application and student information system, commonly known as SITS. The link is sent when your application is received and the receipt is confirmed by email. That is, not when you register the referee in your application. Please note that every application must have the required number of recommendations. So if you apply for 3 master's programs, for example, you will need to have a total of 6 references sent in. A reference link can be resent from the applicant portal by removing and re-registering the referee. We'll talk about this later on.
A frequent issue with references is when a referee does not receive the email with a link, even after multiple resends. This practically always happens because the email is sent from a no-reply email address, and so it gets mistaken for spam and ends up in the referee's spam folder. If your referee complains about not receiving the link, please have them look in their spam mail folder first. It may also happen that their institutional firewall stops all suspicious emails from entering their mailbox. In such a case, it may be necessary to re-register them with an alternative email address. The alternative address can be a private one. Once you have collected or prepared the materials to submit with your application, you can start completing online application form. If you are a first-time user, you will first need to create a SITS account before you can proceed to fill out an application. If, however, you already have such an account for CEU, please use that login. You are not allowed to have multiple SITS accounts to apply to CEU. If you have forgotten your password or have any other issues using your existing account, reach out to our SITS team at helprequest@ceu.edu for assistance. Completion of the application form is easy and straightforward, and provided that all your materials are ready, should not take you longer than half an hour. You can submit an application for up to 5 degree programs in each admission cycle. Any applications beyond that will be rejected automatically. Please be aware that each application must be complete with all required materials, including a full set of references.
After submitting your first application, you will have to pay the application fee of €30. Please note that your first application will only be received after your payment has been confirmed by Flywire, our payment services provider. For this to happen as quickly as possible, we highly recommend you to pay by bank card, as a bank transfer may take several days to be confirmed. Until it is, your application will remain in a sort of limbo state, submitted but not yet received, which can be a problem if the application deadline is near or has already passed. The application fee is mandatory and can't be waived, but you can have another person pay it for you, as the applicant and the payer do not need to be the same person. Any further applications after the first one can be submitted free of charge, and so can applications for some Erasmus Mundus and all non-degree programs. It is important to note that an application cannot be edited or altered in any way after it has been submitted. Therefore, please submit it once you have made sure that you have entered the right information and added the right documents to it. For example, your name, date of birth, and place of birth should be consistent with the data in your passport or personal ID. If your name is different in your ID document from that on your academic records, attach an official certificate of name change to your diploma or degree certificate. You can indicate a preferred name in your application beside your official name.
If you realize after submission that you have made a mistake, do not try to withdraw and resubmit the application, because you will not be able to do it from the same user account even if you have withdrawn the application first. And, as has been said before, you must not create more than one CITS account to apply to CEU. Multiple accounts will be merged and the application from the first one will be processed only. Therefore, please contact the admissions office to see what the best solution is in your case. After your application is finally submitted, you will find it listed on the applicant portal, along with some basic personal data as was provided in your application. We hope you have found this video helpful. If you have any questions, please refer to the admissions-related pages of our website, where you will also find an extensive set of frequently asked questions. In case you can't find the answer there, please do not hesitate to email us. Good luck with your application!